I know.
It's Judy on the radio, building dreams and achieving more, telling it just like it is. Most of all, keeping it real. Are you ready for real talk? Changing lives and communities. Real talk. Saving all our families. Real talk. Bringing hope for you and me. Real talk. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio.
Well, good morning. Hello. Welcome to the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. I am Dr. Judy, your Real Talk host, and I want to thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to spend 1 hour with you, 1 hour with you to empower you and make an indelible impact upon your life and to increase your faith. Everything you want to accomplish is possible if you only believe. Philippians 4:13 Amplified Bible reads, I can do all things which he has called me to do through him who strengthens and empowers me to fulfill his purpose. I am self-sufficient in Christ's sufficiency. I am ready for anything and equal to anything through him who infuses me with inner strength and confidence and peace. Short again, I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. My brothers and sisters, you have to see it before you see it, or you never will see it. And that's Real Talk. Again, I am Dr. Judy, your Real Talk host for this amazing and impactful live radio show. And to all of those of you who are joining me, thank you so very much. Whether you're on via radio, Facebook Live, YouTube, and the radio apps, so all of you outside of Tallahassee, thank you. Those of you in Tallahassee and surrounding area, thank you. Again, I am honored and thankful that you have chosen me. You know what? I don't take it lightly that you would tune in, that you would schedule, that you would put it on your calendar. So many of you have told me that you make sure that when I come on, you have it programmed in your calendar, that you make sure you tune in. That means a lot to me because you don't have to, but you have intentionally chosen to do so. And I promise you, we will not waste your time that you give to us to empower you. But I promise you, we won't do that. Not at all. Your time is valuable to me, just like it's valuable to you. So please do me a favor. Y'all know I'm going to do this. Those of you who are here all the time, y'all know I'm going to do this. I must say hello to my mama. So while y'all go ahead and call and text and tag and get everyone you know and other people, invite them to join you today, and go ahead and contact them. And I'm going to go ahead and talk to my mama. While y'all do that, y'all know I'm going to talk to my mama. So you already know. And those of you who this is your first time tuning in, I am always going to acknowledge my mom, because my mom is the reason I am here today. So hello, mama, way down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Dr. Hunter Wesley, I want to thank you so very much for tuning in, mama, and it's always a pleasure. And as always, I tell everybody thank you for praying for my mother, because over a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, and my sister Tanya's on almost, and she is my mama caregiver, life giver. And I want to thank her and my niece. But over 2 years ago, my mom had a heart attack. She was out, I think, for 5 minutes. And I put a 991 call on Facebook, Instagram, and you all prayed. I don't know who all prayed, but I know the righteous prayer, the prayers of the righteous avail much. You all prayed. We agreed, and we tore the roof off of death. Like those 4 friends, we tore the roof off of death. Put my mom before Jesus. He healed her, and she's here today. And y'all, she is hilarious. My mom has been funny all my life for 65 years. But when I tell you, she is more hilarious than ever. I asked her the other day, Mama, how you doing? She said, as good as I want to. Bam, there it is. All right. She said she's doing as good as she want to. She told my sister, don't call none of them girls. I don't feel like talking this morning. I just want to lay in my bed and relax. Hey, I'm glad she's here. She can do what she want to do. Lord, let her live. February the 25th, she'll be 86 years old. 86 years old. And the Lord, the doctors thought she was going to be out of here 6 years ago. But she's here. And she's still my trusted advisor. She's my number one advisor. Mama, thank you so very much. And to my amazing husband, Superintendent Gerald Mandrell, thank you, sweetheart, for all that you do to make life worth living. You are absolutely phenomenal. And I thank God so very much for you. And I want to thank God, too, for Priscilla John Louis, who happens to be, to me, one of the greatest marketing personnel. She makes everything happen well. Just daughter Stephanie, thank you so very much. She made being on. She make everything happen well. She and her team. So Priscilla, thank you so very much for all that you do. Again, to you, the greatest audience ever, that keeps me coming back with great information, with great excitement, ready to pour into you, so I can see you. I can see you before I even see you, making things happen. So that's Real Talk. We're about ready to get into the show for today. And I forgot, to all of you that I met in public, every week I meet so many people who tell me that they watch the show. Sister Kimmy, some people hear my voice and they'll run over to me no matter where I am. And they, are you Dr. Judy? Are you Pastor Judy? I listen to you on men and women. And I am thoroughly honored. And I want to say hello to each and every one of you, because I always tell all these people, I'm going to call your name out. So I'm calling your name out. Your name is special. So thank you so very much for tuning in to me. Today's discussion is, it's time to give birth. It's time to give birth. And I am excited. I've had midwives, what I call, we're going to get into that. But I've had two people to help me who positioned me to birth this book that was in me for over 20 years. I got chapters, I wrote it, I started writing, I got frustrated, I got this, I got all of this, I'm writing too much, and my husband said, you're putting too much into it, you're trying to do 50 chapters. This is my husband, ain't nobody gonna read 50 chapters. What he was telling me in essence was, Judy, I'm not going to read no 50 chapters. Now, write that book so I can read it. That's what he was telling me in essence. But he said, bite it off piece at a time. I was praying and looking for help. So to help me, the person who helped me to strategically position myself to conceive, carry, and birth my masterpiece, I have brought her on this show. She's my publisher midwife that came to me, and we're going to talk about that. But I brought her on this show because if she helped me, surely she can help you. And my desire is to see everybody live their dream and to pull out what they have to say. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I brought my publisher with here today to help you one day say she's your publisher. That's the one and only Kimi Johnson.
Hello, thank you so much for having me here. It has been such an honor and a privilege to work with you. I do not take this opportunity lightly to be a guest on your show. I've been thinking about it since you gave me the invite, and I just think about who you are as a person and my encounter with you. And you truly are a woman of wisdom. You are a woman of love, and you really have a heart for people. And so it does not surprise me at all that you would want to have a show like this to encourage and empower other people to do what your book is saying, right? Show up for you. So thank you for having me as a guest.
Oh, Kimmy, I am so honored that you're here. And to all of you who are joining, thank you all so very much. You're going to be blessed beyond measures, I promise you. Minister Howard, she's always inviting about 50 people. So I want to thank you, Minister Howard, for all that you do. Everyone who's tuning in. Kimmy, when God bless me, I really want other people to be blessed. I really do. And I want you poured in me. You believe in me. If you got frustrated with me, I don't know. I don't know if you did or not.
I did
But
it.
but you helped me. You positioned me in the right way. My sister Cindy from Scotland spent Thanksgiving 2 days, almost 16 hours, working with me to get this book out and helping me to think and to develop. And then years later, God sent you. And my desire for real, you all, is to help you manifest your dream in any way that I can. I'm not intimidated. I'm not uh, competitive or anything. I won't get angry if you surpass me. My husband stated he teaches us ministerially wise with the Bible. He gives us everything he has, and he expects us to use the knowledge that he gives to us to increase ourselves. And with his knowledge, of course, the wisdom of God, pastor's knowledge, and the knowledge that we have, he said we should supersede him.
Wow.
And he's looking for that. And I promise y'all, that's why I have Kimi here today. Because I want you to do it. I want you to bring forth that's in you. It's worth it. And so we're going to talk about some things today because you got to make it. You got to die empty. You have to. It is a must. And then but this is the thing, you got to have people who know what they're doing better than you to help you do it.
Yes, to help you birth that baby, right? We're talking about giving birth and talking about how the book publishing process is much like a woman, being pregnant, getting going through the conception phase all the way to the delivery day. And so it's very important to have a team that is behind you that can do, and even there may be times where you can do it, but perhaps you don't have the time to put into it. So having a publisher and a self-publishing team is there to girt you and provide the professionalism and the checker system is what I like to call it, to help you get your story on the page. Because, you're so close to the story, you have an idea of what you want to do. And so it can be hard for you to get your story on the page because you're like, one of the questions I hear a lot is, where do I get started? Right? And so my answer is just start. Just get it on the page, but also make sure you have that team that is there to support you along the way.
Yeah, and that is very important. I know I got her talking because I'm excited. I have not introduced her except for Kimi Johnson. Okay, because I just want every minute for her to really pour to you. Okay, so I'm gonna take a minute. Kimi, will you introduce yourself to the audience, please? Wow.
Yes, I will. So my name is Kimi Johnson. I am the owner of Purpose House Publishing. I am a publisher there, and I truly, truly have the heart for helping authors get their story on the page. My publishing journey started back in 2013 with state government. My background with state government is instructional design and training, and so we would have to publish instructional material. And so that led into me publishing my first magazine, which was called Purpose Driven Women Magazine. Dr. Judy, you were featured in that magazine, and thank you so much for, honoring us with your presence in that publication. But working with women and hearing their stories, several times women would say, can you help me write my book? And so I kept that in mind. And in 2019, I published the very first book under Purpose House Publishing called Destiny is in the Grain. And that was by author Shantae Moore. And, since then we have been on the wings and grace of God. We've published over 18 books now. And so we are really excited and it has been a journey. I love the variety and really just helping the authors from that idea of conception all the way to delivery day. Yes.
Wow. And she's awesome. She's awesome. She is awesome. Okay, so excuse me. I read a quote by Carter G. Woodson. And the quote says, "You must give your own story to the world."
Mm-hmm.
You must give your own story to the world. Will you elaborate on that a little bit, Kim?
Yes, I will. When I think about that, I think about the day that I sat across from you when we first met. We met at Starbucks and we were talking about the concept behind show up for you. And as I listened to your story and your passion behind, why you felt it was important for people to show up for you, it reminded me of this very quote, right? We all have a story. We may not always think our story is significant, but it is to someone,
Yes.
right? And so we all have experiences that we've gone through, lessons that we learn, and we all have a wealth of wisdom. And so when we think about our story and the power of sharing our story, we give not only ourselves, but we give God an opportunity to speak through us and shine his light through us to be a help to someone else. And so when we sit on our story and we don't share those lessons, we don't share our testimony, we're doing an injustice to someone else, because when we show up, we give other people permission to show up as well. And when I think about you sharing your story, it reminded me of, this isn't something that we do intentional. We don't intentionally not show up for ourselves. The truth of the matter is we are caregivers, we're
Yes.
moms, we're wives, we're business owners,
Yes.
we're leaders in the communities, we're influencers. And so we're servant, right? We're servant leaders. And so we lead with serving others. But the downfall to that is sometimes we can get so caught up in serving others that we forget to serve ourselves. We forget to show up for ourselves. And so keeping in mind that your story matters, and it doesn't have to be what we would call this extravagant story. The fact that you are being a mom and you're still standing, right?
Yes.
The fact that you are on a job and dealing with your day-to-day challenges, that's a story that should be told. And so from the greatest to the smallest of what we would consider the smallest, because in my mind there's there's no insignificant story, right? But it deserves to be told. It really does.
Wow.
Yes.
And y'all see, we just had Stephanie here. So what's the name of your company again? But Priscilla gave it to her. And you all contact her. And Stephanie, she write poetry.
Wow. Yes.
She writes, she can sit and it come to her like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I've told her you need to get with
she
Kimi.
should get that on the page.
Yes,
for sure.
because it is so powerful. And as you was talking, what I thought about, Kimi, is this, and you all have done this, I'm sure. You're going into the bookstore and you look for, I just told Kimi, I'm on my, I think fourth or fifth order of 100 books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on my fifth order of 100 books. And so you say, well, I don't have the money. Listen, as the money come in, I'm ordering.
Yes.
Do you understand? I'm selling and I'm ordering.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm selling and I'm ordering. But people are calling, asking for the book and all of this, because this is one thing that I realized. Everybody might not buy your book, but give everybody an opportunity to see your book. Give everybody an opportunity to see your book. When I go into Barnes and Nobles or the books or Books A Million, or if I'm in the app, when I'm in the airport, I always go to the bookstore. Always, and I'm always gonna leave out with a book that costs more in the airport than it does on Amazon or wherever. But their book is there. They might not get it the first time, but they might go back and get it later. My husband and I got so many books at our house. And there's some books we bought because we saw it. But at first, Kimi, at first it didn't touch us like we thought it would. But later on, we'll go back and pick up a book and we can't put it down. We can't, because it's that time, but it's on the shelf. You owe it to yourself. You owe it, Kimi just mentioned, to God. Yes. To release what's on the inside of you. You owe that. You owe that to yourself. Your story is important to someone. No, the first person is important to you. You.
That's right. I like to tell my clients that you become the edited version of your book, especially if you're sharing your story, right? And so it first points to you and you identifying your why. Why is this important? And so when you identify your why, it doesn't matter who you think is going to support, who doesn't support that you thought that would. You are making a decision to show up for you. And because you're showing up for you, you are the only part, you're the plus one, okay? And so you're not concerned about who's in the audience. I think about, and this story is in your book that you shared, where you were having a speaking engagement and you were at this big arena and all of these women were there and you walked on the stage and no one clapped. But what did you do? You started
clapping for myself.
You started clapping for yourself. So when you embrace your story and you decide that, you know what, my story is worth sharing and I'm going to share my story or my book, whatever that book is, you are making a decision to clap for yourself no matter what.
No matter what.
No matter what.
No matter what. And I know some people think that is selfish. No.
It's not.
No, not at all. Not. David encouraged himself.
That's right.
Jesus stuck to it because of what he saw in the future.
That's right.
You know, and that's why he stuck with it, y'all. He saw us in the future.
He
saw us in the future. And he sees us now in the future.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone that you have been put, and not just one person, y'all. There are people you have been put on this earth to impact. You have been put on this earth to make a difference. It's just like when you get pregnant, Kimmy. Sometimes the women don't even know they're pregnant.
They don't know.
They don't know that they're pregnant. They don't know that they have conceived.
They do not know. And that is like likened unto us, right? Whether we realize it or not, we are all in a phase of conception from one aspect or the next. And it takes for us to get in a quiet space to figure out what that looks like, to figure out what's our purpose and what's our assignment here on earth. That's all about conception, where you may not know. And then some of us, we do know. I remember the day, the time, the moment that it happened, right? But even in that, what do you do next? You have a decision to make. Do you abort or do you keep going? Do you nurture this child? Do you pour in it with love, or do you just say, you know what? I don't have the resources. I don't know how to do this. You know, when those that are, when your first time getting pregnant, you don't know what that experience is going to be like for you personally.
That's true.
But the more you step out, the more you find out. The more you wake up, the more your belly grows, right?
Yeah.
You know, there is a process that once you in the stage of conception, it's going to continue, but it's how you determine or decide to nurture that baby, which is what determines how healthy that baby is going to be, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Yes. And so when we think about conception, this is where we have that, oh my God, I want to write this book. And sadly, a lot of us are stuck in that, you know, I have a book idea. I want to write a book, right? God has been dealing with me about writing this book. Or, you know, people are telling me that I should write about this because when I give them advice, it really helps them. But I don't have the time, right? I'm a leader. I'm a professional. I'm working every day. I have children, you know, all of these responsibilities. But we have to decide to show up for ourselves and say, you know what? I'm going to do this. And what I found is there's a saying that really resonates with me, and it's that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so once you begin to say, you know what, I'm going to do this, and you get out of the space of being double-minded, and you say, I'm going to do this. I don't know how. You activate faith, right? I don't know how, but I'm believing that it's going to be done. Then you will see that the publisher will appear, or the YouTube video, because there's some people that go at it alone, right? But whatever the case is, those resources will come to you. You will attract it, and you will have what you need, but you have to say yes.
You got to say yes.
You have to say yes.
You have to say yes. And as she was talking, I thought about when I was pregnant, first time being pregnant and didn't know a lot of stuff. And that Sunday I went to church and my stomach was cramping a little bit. And this is, and I'm about to make a good point. My stomach was cramping a little bit, and I saw spots of blood. So I mentioned it to one of the mothers. I should have called my mama. I mentioned it to one of the mothers at the church, and I was supposed to MC that Sunday. And she said, "Oh, you okay? You're okay. Go ahead and MC." So I said, "Do I MC like I know? Because I give it all. Everything I do, I give it my all, right?" And so I was praising the Lord, but I was cramping so bad. This is why you need a good midwife, or someone who knows.
Someone that knows.
That knows, because if I would have called my mom said she would have told me, "No, you sit down, don't even go to church today. Period. Call your doctor." But that wasn't told to me. This is what happened. After church, Dr. Davis and I went to eat. Tawanda, Pastor T. We went to eat, but I couldn't eat because I kept feeling like I had to use the restroom when I just felt terrible. Went home, used the restroom. Y'all, I lost half the blood on my body. I filled up a total blanket a large blanket full of blood. My husband came home and rushed me to the hospital. I don't know how he got to the hospital. They said that the baby was there. My water broke, the blood, all that kind of stuff. I held the baby. Well, no, I didn't. My husband held the baby. The baby didn't live because it was premature. And listening to you, Kimmy, if I would have talked with someone who knew better, or who wasn't just concerned about me presiding and bringing the church to a certain point, if I would have called my mother, the baby, who knows what would have happened. But the baby would have lived, ain't no telling what she would. She would have had problems, real serious problems. I said that to say this: in your conception, be careful who you talk to, especially in that moment where you're trying to decide, should I or should I not? I know that was a deep story. I know it went kind of deep, but that lesson taught me so many lessons.
Yes.
About life. I am so careful about who I allow to speak into me.
That's right.
And if they spoke and they were good, but if I feel a turn that they're taking, I no longer seek them for advice.
That's right.
My life is too precious.
Your life.
And what I'm carrying and what you're carrying is too precious just to listen to anybody, because you must deliver a healthy, sound baby, book.
Yes.
Dream.
That's right.
Whatever it is.
That's right. And as I listen to your story, which is very powerful, it's a very powerful testimony, and it points to the admiration I have for you. I didn't know that was your story, but you don't carry yourself in a way that one would know, because you are an overcomer. And so I like that you brought that up, because I want to point out that, on this journey, we will make mistakes and things will come up that we don't have any control over. We will hear the advice and wisdom of other people and the guidance of other people that may not be the best, even if their intentions were good, right? But we have to be able to get up. We can't stay there. We can't stay in that mode of, depression, or that mode, whatever it is that is hindering you from going forward in your destiny and in your purpose. And when we're talking about a book, you're going to come against things like writer's block. What do you do with that? Right? You're going to come against people that's giving you the wrong advice. Perhaps they're thinking it's the best advice for you. Maybe it worked for them, but that doesn't mean it is going to work for you. And so when you are in that space, it is very important to identify your tribe, the people that are going to guide you and direct you. Dr. Judy said that her mom has been her advisor. You said your entire life. And so who are our advisors? Those that we know that can see beyond themselves to see us, to see beyond the current, to see where we're headed. And so that's what Purpose Pals is, right? We are that advisor. We are the publisher's best friend. We are there to assist you from every step of the way, from conception to your delivery day, with the tools and the resources that are necessary and personalized for your journey. So one of the things that we do is we start out with the kickoff meeting, much like what we had, and we get to talking and getting to know each other and just hearing your why. You know, why do you want to do this book? And that helps to streamline the entire process moving forward. So Dr. Judy, thank you for sharing that story and also pointing out how important it is to have the right people behind you when you're getting ready to publish your book or say yes to whatever assignment that it is on your life.
And you know what else helped me, Kimmy? My family, my sisters, they were like, when are you going to do the book? My niece, when are you going to do the book? When are you going to do the book? Listen, this person wrote a book and look at it. You should write it. It was like they wanted me to really do this thing. You know, they felt like it should really. Then I felt the obligation that I should go ahead and do this book because my family is believing in me so much. My sister Tanya sold, I think, over 20 books before my book had even come back.
Yes, that's right.
And as we sat there, and I remember talking with you, your excitement in my book, your excitement in my story. I mean, she was so excited. I was like, and know what else I want to write about? And I mean, she was like pushing and setting me right and making sure that my why was real to me.
Yes.
That's what she wanted to hear. If my why was real to me. And that's what midwives and people who have been pregnant and know how to handle this thing and have given birth. That's why they're there. That's your village. That's your tribe. Everybody is not a part of your tribe. You said something, and I left my pen over there, but you said something that they look beyond themselves and see you.
Yes.
And then they look beyond the current
to see the future.
Yes. That was that's the kind of tribe you need in your life. That's the kind of publisher you need in your. And can I tell you something? Everybody's story is important.
It's important.
Everybody. And some people don't like to write about their failures and all of that, but the Bible is full of it.
It is. It is.
And that's why I love God. That's why I like reading the Bible. If God just would have wrote about people who never make no mistake, that wouldn't fit most of us.
It would not. It would fit none of us.
Well, right, none of us.
You know, it really wouldn't.
I was preaching one time years ago, and I was talking about how a certain person. I was a youth revival I was doing, and I was talking about how a certain person had given their life to God at 7 years old, and now they were in their they were either 19 or 20, and I talked about how they kept themselves from having sex before marriage, just making my point. And I thought I was writing good. Young people was coming to the altar afterwards. About 5 young people came up to me, and they playing that, and they said, "Evangelist Madrell, your message missed us." I said, "How come?" They started talking about, "Well, we're not no virgin. We've had sex." You know, and one said, "I'm 17, 16, there was 16, 17, 18, and we've had sex." So you didn't talk about how to be restored if you had sex. You just talked about how to not have sex. But you didn't talk about what God does with those who had sex before marriage. It changed the way I preach. It changes the way I preach.
And I think that is good to think about too, especially in the space of someone writing a self-help book or someone that's wanting to share their story, because thinking about how the reader will take this knowledge that you're giving them and transfer it to a space of application, because that is where we see true change, right? And so being able to take yourself beyond the page to see different perspectives. And that is where having a publisher is really helpful. Having someone to be a sounding board, to ask those questions and say, okay, this is what I'm getting. Is this what you're saying?
Yes.
And have you thought about this perspective, right? Because one can only be true to their story, their experience, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you have a team of people that are working with you, that team is able to present different perspectives to help you have a more, I would say, worldwide, diverse view. So whenever someone picks up your book, it is speaking to them. Even if they have not walked in the same shoes, they can glean from that message and that wisdom that you're giving them, because you've presented it in such a way that it's not selfish. It's more so, I'm giving you this information and I'm positioning it in a way that you can now apply it to your life.
You're right. I was sitting out in Joe Louis complex and talking with a bunch of women, and one of them started drilling me. I mean, boy, Kimmy, that lady drilled me. She drilled me. But I was able to point to everything she asked in that book. I was able to point to everything she asked about in that book. My book is $30. What I did, I told all of them, give me $10. I give you the book.
I'll give you the book.
One lady said, I wouldn't dare give you $10 if this book is $30. She gave me $50.
Oh, wow.
She gave me $50. I took it too.
I know you did.
She gave me $50, but then I gave the other ones the book. But the lady who was drilling me said, a lot of time when you put people on the spot like this, because you're educated. She said, I'm not. She said, I don't have a college degree, haven't finished high school. She said, but I know real when I see it.
I know real when I see it.
She said, and if you couldn't answer the question to your own book, I would tell everybody, don't buy your book.
Because you were able to speak to your experiences and you poured your heart and your soul into this book. And it points back to the passion that you have, from people that would be considered as uneducated to the most elite people that come across you. I have watched you, as I work with you, treat everyone the same with that consistent love and appreciation and desire to see everybody win, right? And so, we talk about, I want to go back to this because you said, that I was excited about your story. And I really was. I get in this space where I get excited. But what was happening is your message and your passion was speaking to me. We talked about being busy and showing up for other people. But as I heard you and you were just pouring your heart out about why this is important and why people need to show up for themselves and how they don't, and the tools that you want to give them, which you did very well in the book. I was like, wow. How many times have I said that I wanted to do something and I have not shown up for myself because I have not had the courage or the discipline to put myself on a calendar, right? We put other people on a calendar and we carve out this time for everybody else, but we think that it's selfish when it comes to serving ourselves. And so a lot of that excitement was that you were talking to my baby and my baby was leaping. And I was like, yes, I want to be a part of this. And as I was working on the project, and every chapter that I read, it was like I was taking notes and saying, you know what, the reflective questions, I was answering those questions because it really is a tool that you pick up and you actually work through it. It's not something that you're going to just read from front cover to back cover. I mean, you can, but you get the most out of it when you really have your pen. She has some lines for you to write in, but you need some more paper so that you can really write it out and outline how you're going to show up. So I thank you, for even pouring into me as you were sharing your vision and your why behind Show Up For You.
Wow, that is awesome. I am so excited about this book because I see so many people who get stuck for one reason or another. My sister Tanya was She has a master in criminology, I think, or leadership, and she touched so many people. But she has given these last, I think, 6, 8 years to really care for my mom. Her whole life is my mother. I mean, her entire life. All of us are concerned, but my sister have sacrificed her entire life to take care of my mom. And I told her, get out. And I went home more last year because I want her to be able to live. They said a lot of time the caregiver go before the person they're taking care of. But she can't go before my mama for real because she can't. Number one, she got a spoilers, I don't know what, but she knows how to adjust everything. When she started a part-time job, it's really a full-time job because she takes it on to heart. But I can see her now coming back to life, but I told her she deserved that, and the people who she served deserve that without missing a beat with my mom. My niece has sacrificed her life, but we want them to live. And Kimmy, I just believe, I really do believe, I believe it with all my heart, everybody. And I get excited about these little children books. These children are writing books.
Children are writing books.
These children are writing books and making good impression and impact on people's lives. I believe we should do that. I believe God has blessed us to overcome so much. Whether you were a drug addict or you never did drugs, you have a story to help somebody.
You have a story. And when you talk about children writing books, I immediately thought about my experience this summer working with Creative Mind Solutions. And we went in as a vendor to help the kids with creative writing, and to see the kids light up around the idea of becoming published authors and writing their book and learning the book writing process. You are absolutely right. From the age of a child all the way up to an adult, we all have the ability to become a published author because we all have some sense of knowledge that we can pass along to someone else.
Yes.
If you are a baker, you can teach somebody how to bake a cake. One of our books was a cookbook from Chef Fee. She was showing people how to create these recipes. And so no matter what your path is, there is a way to capture that information and put it in a book. And it all points back to you deciding to show up for you because you are worth it.
You are worth it.
You're worth it.
You are worth showing up for yourself. You really are. And you have to have a respect for yourself. You have to have the value. You have to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you matter.
That's right.
You matter to you and you matter to others. You really, really do. And you have to know that. You have to know that. I've seen when I work with Department of Children and Families, so many parents talk to their children and just cuss them out and all kind of ways. You ain't gonna never do this, never do that. No, all this kind of stuff is real. Then you have those who parents don't talk to them. They come from a good home as far as two parents being there, but there's no oomph given to them. And so as a kid, I used to go to the projects because I felt like that's my mission. I still feel that that's my mission. My dad said, I told him when I was about 6 years old that I was going to save the world.
Wow.
My dad said, I told him that. And my dad watched me. My father passed several years ago, but he always told me, Judy, you are doing just what you said. He said, and as a kid, it's like I couldn't. And God gave me the right parents to nourish me in that. Because I saw them give and do. I went over to the project, took all the food out the freezer. I would take my mom clothes. Only thing they had to do was listen to me. They listened to me. They got a gift.
They got a gift.
They got food. They got steaks and all this kind of stuff. But I've always, and to this day, I feel like, and I feel like I'm not here to do anything by myself. I feel like I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I'm here to work with a team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to do team business.
Team business.
You know, that's what I'm here for. And so when I say show up for you, because you are part of the team of God, you
That's
really
right.
are. You are part of that. And guess what? Every book is a book,
Every book is a book.
and every book matters. And he said he give us different administration, but it's the same spirit. He give us different ideas, even as we carry our babies.
That's right.
As we carry our babies. Mother Anita Booker, she's a dancer. I praise for her. When she was carrying her younger son, she praised the Lord the whole time. I mean, she danced and danced. I mean, she didn't sit down. And I might be wrong, but I think I'm correct. She praised God and danced, came to church, ain't missed nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right up until it was time for her to go to the hospital to have this boy.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's 40, I think, and he's still dancing and praising the Lord healthy. But as with me and some other women, they were told to sit.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't do
You
that.
couldn't do anything.
But you still had a baby growing in the womb on the inside.
That's right. And listening to that, and you mentioned about this idea of this individuality. When you think about how many self-help books there are,
Mm-hmm.
how many children's books there are. A client of mine just released a grief book, the Whitfields,
Yes.
the last 48 hours from the perspective of a parent. But there's so many different grief books there. There's so many different help books, health books. But it is that author that makes the difference,
Yes.
right? It is when you insert yourself into the story, onto the page, that makes that planner a little bit different, that makes that workbook a little bit different, that makes that novel a little bit different, because we're so unique. Our engagement with the world is going to be different. And so the way that we see life,
yes.
and how we see it through our lens is going to be different. It's like the Bible, right?
Yes.
We read the Bible. We can read the same passage of scripture, but based on our experiences, we may interpret it a little bit different. Sure, the concept will be the same. The concept will be a grief book. The concept will be a self-help book. However, what that means to us individually, it will be filtered through our perspectives. And so that's what authors should keep in mind as they're saying, there's so many people that, how is my book going to be different? It's because of the writer. Yeah.
Wow. I know she's giving us some good principles, and I'm gonna release her to speak to you in just a few minutes, because we're gonna be out of here. But listen to this. Excuse me. I had gotten to the place I was stuck.
Mm-hmm.
I went to our International Women's Convention. I was the only one who went from here, of the ladies and my husband who would stay with me. Had me a nice big room, view of all of beautiful Orlando. We was in the Rose and Shingle.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the 16th floor because I told Kimi
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going to write.
I'm going to write.
And I figured I was going to sit there and I was going to write. It was going to come. It was going to pour. I was going to write. I got there. I got stuck.
That's right.
It would not flow. I sat by the pool. It was beautiful. They was inviting me to come to dinner with all my friends that I know from all over the world. I wouldn't go to dinner because I told Kimmy I was going to have this book done. I couldn't get anything. I emailed her and told her I'm stuck. When I got back, she called to see how I was doing. I told her I'm frustrated.
She did.
I can't. This stuff would not come. I mean, I think I was talking in anger too. I was mad.
Yes.
I was mad because I'm a good talker. Writing is not an issue, but I could not do anything. I was frustrated. I talked with Cindy, that's my sister in Scotland, to help me unlock. I could not get it. My husband and Carolyn and Tanya, Net, I could not get it. Dr. Torred, I could not get it. Kimmy, listen, in the same voice she is right now, just like this. You know what she told me? It's just as calm. First she talked to me. Then she said, well, you know what, Pastor Judy, let's do it like this. Maybe you should consider. She didn't say do this.
That's right.
She didn't say do this. This will work. Even Rhoda Whitfield called me to see how I was processing along. I mean, people cared. People cared about me doing this book.
That's right.
And I was like, and I admired Whitfield like to the utmost. And she told me, she said, it'll come. Just like that. Kimmy said, record it. She said, consider recording.
Yes.
You remember that?
I remember that. I remember that conversation. I remember your frustration. And I sat there and I listened and I took it all in. And, you know, I just really wanted to create this space where you were being seen and heard, valued. And, you know, I had the thought at the start of our conversation, but I knew it was important for you to get out what you were experiencing at that time. And I said, record it, because I remember the day that I sat across from you and all of our conversations during our check-ins that we had along the way. The ability to articulate your message wasn't an issue, which is why you were able to answer all of those questions that the lady was drilling you, because it is who you are. It is your heart. And so I knew to unlock it. And I felt like, and I'm not going to say I knew Holy Spirit was saying, tell her to record it. Just talk it out. Don't worry about what it sounds like. Just speak from your heart, which is what makes Show Up For You so powerful, because it is truly a page from your heart that you are just pouring into. Because I remember you saying that, you know, you and your sister sat down and you all had this time and you had the meat of it, but it was important for you to really add the ministry, the you into it in a space where you're such an encourager. And so when you began to record it, it was over. It was over at that point.
It really was. It was like, oh my God, this is just coming. And I recorded it just like I felt it, just like I heard it.
Yes.
And sent it to Kimmy.
Yes.
I mean, it was like, oh wow. My husband and I was driving to Oviedo. We were going different, but I was just recording. I'm just talking. On the airplane, I'm flying. I'm just talking, right? I mean, and it was flowing. It was flowing, and I felt it. And I sent it to Kimmy, and she wrote it. She put what I said in that recorder.
Yeah.
And you know what I did? Then I sent it to 15 different people.
Yes.
To critique it.
Yes.
I sent it to 20 responded.
Yes, 20 people.
And they responded. Dr. Brenda Jarman, who was one of my mentors, she told me, she had a PhD from Florida State in social work. Mm-hmm. She said she read that book and she goes to bed at 10, and she said, you kept me up to after 12.
And she picked it up. She couldn't put it down. And she told me, she said, write it in the format that it's written in now. Mm-hmm. But I had people to talk about it. And, I mean, and I knew I had people to proof it who I know would give me some real feedback. The real feedback. And when I tell you, not much was changed in what I wrote at all. She helped me birth this book. And she just said, from her heart. That's right.
I mean, it is birthed from her heart. I have people now, I have over 300 people in Tallahassee who have the book.
Yes.
In Tallahassee.
Like
my sister, Tanya, because of her, and Cindy got me international.
Yes.
She had people in Paris about to send their picture.
Yes.
People in Greece about to send their pictures. This book is going everywhere.
Jamaica.
Jamaica was cool. And so now I travel with a bag of books. Right. I keep 10 books with me at all times.
That's right.
And I sell them at all times.
At all times.
I sell them. and I sell them for $30 because I don't feel like I need to sell it for $5 to compete with anybody.
That's right. Because
My price is $30, and I invest back into the book to make it available for someone else. But Kimi Johnson helped me birth this book, and I carry it now. I carry it. I'm looking at, I've had people to ask me, so what is your, I was sitting in a Village Inn. Oh, God, Kimmy, we got to go.
Oh, goodness. Is that time already?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was sitting in Village Inn, and someone asked me what I'm reading, and I showed them, and they said, who's the author? I said, me. The lady was like, you're really working on your own book?
Yes.
You're looking at your own book? I am.
That's right.
And she bought it.
That's good.
She bought it. She bought 2 because I looked at it myself. Y'all call her, and you may call and sit down with a consultation. Then you may decide you want to do it on your own. But when I tell you she got me position right, because when you give birth, they said the baby crown.
That's good. That's right. The baby crown.
The baby crown.
And what's left after that? Push.
The baby crown. It gets right there, and that head is ready to come out. That baby has crown. I come to tell so many of you today that Kimmy is ready to help you position so the baby is not breech.
Yes.
May not need a C-section, but you can have a natural birth.
That's right.
And she helped you crown that baby. Man, that was good.
That was good.
Give me 1 minute or something.
Yeah, so I want to invite you, if you're listening in and you're like, I really want to write my book, we are having a free workshop this Saturday called Jumpstart Your Manuscript. It is at the library in the Lake Jackson Branch Library. And it starts at 10:30 and it will be over at 12. And it's designed to help you leave with an outline and also at least your first chapter outline of how you're going to start writing your book. So I invite you to come out. Again, it is free. The Lake Jackson Library branch at 10:30. I hope to see you there. You can register on my website at purposepalsllc.com.
And I make sure I put all of that information on my website, on my pages, because that is a good place for you to be. If I was going to be here this weekend, I would come. I would go. And I've already written a book.
Yes.
But I'm not going to stop learning.
That's right.
Because I got more books on the inside of me.
More.
And I'm getting ready to release this children's book.
Yes.
Same thing. Oh, I am, and let me tell you what happened too, and I got to go. But beginning, I don't have the dates right now, March, I am going to be teaching my book. It's called Leadership 101 at the Tallahassee Bible College.
Yes.
At the Tallahassee Bible College. God has opened the door for me to teach my book. I was invited by the Commission on the Status of Men and Boys to their retreat. And I taught that. Doors are opening right here in the city. Right here in the city. So, y'all, let's make it happen, okay? You got a lot to do. You can join me every Tuesday at 7:30 for Bible study by way of Zoom. And then you can join me every Sunday at 11 a.m. at Life Changes, Church of God in Christ. And contact Kimmy. Contact her. She's on Facebook and everywhere.
Yes. Facebook at Purpose Pals Publishing, Instagram, Purpose Pal Publishing as well.
So make it happen. And check it out, y'all. I see you in the future. That baby has crown. And next thing you got to do is push. That's real talk.
Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio.